Hi everyone. I've got some upgrades to the wet blasting cabinet that I had built. I'm going to be doing a second wet blast cabinet because I went overkill on a lot of the things I did on this, and I know I can build a better one that's more inexpensive, and I've also, been using it quite a bit, so I've seen a lot of the downfalls to certain things. So let me show you some of the things that I've been working on and upgrading, and then and I apologize, my videos haven't been coming frequently. I had some health issues, but with some friends I should be able to get these videos going. Okay, so while using the blasting cabinet, I found out that the valve that takes the overflow that goes down to the water filter, a lot of your media gets trapped down inside of there. So every time you want to, if you want to have the water valve off while you're using it in a closed system, because remember, the media and the water get like chocolate milk. It's all suspended in there. So if you blast and then open the valve, you're going to lose a lot of media down into the filter box. And you don't lose it, it's just you have to clean it. It's just a bigger process. So I wanted to stop all of the media from immediately collecting in the nozzle. So what I did was I took some PVC fittings and cut them and made that little angle with a slot. In the next cabinet, I won't be putting the drain valve in the center. I'll be moving the drain valve over because I could have just put an elbow on it, but the plumbing I put in would interfere and I can't get it in. So on the future one, the valve should be moved over so that you can have some room over in this area. The next thing was, in the initial one, I had taken a lawn sprinkler to make the water for the windshield wiper to wipe, and I had taken just hose, a plumbing fitting for a hose barb, and made this. It worked well. The problem was it was just using so much water, overkill on the water. So then I tried and I made this one, which is using the type of spray nozzles you see on those misters, like if you're in an amusement park, they're on fans. So I made a misting setup. Again, this was too little water, it was too fine a mist. So I went to Lowe's and I found these fittings that they use for sprinkler, and really inexpensive and cheap. So I made a new system with that, and the end to go onto the hose, again, pretty cheap, it just slides right on. So that was the perfect size. In fact, I have that hose valve up there. I back off it a little and I get a nice fine mist. It doesn't use too much water. It's perfect. So that was that. Now, I also, on the vent that goes up, I elbowed into some vacuum line and I come down to a Cyclone receptacle. Now, this one I made probably, I don't know, 10 years ago when I was doing drywall, so that I could filter out all the drywall dust without it ever getting to the shop vac. Today, it's not worth building that. I bought, this is my sandblast cabinet, I bought this one right here, which is a Cyclone unit, for like $22 on eBay. So it's not worth building one like I did years ago. But anyway, so what happens is, I turn the shop vac on, and it's really strong. It pulls the air through, and any of the media and water goes into the Cyclone collector, and then only air goes over to the shop vac. So I never have to clean the shop vac. It doesn't dirty the filter. Everything stays in the bucket. And it's not a lot of media. I mean, I've only emptied it once, and it was a very insignificant amount. I emptied just because I wanted to see. The other thing is, though, that depending upon what you're blasting, sometimes you're just getting water splashes, other times you're getting almost like a smoky, fine, misty cloud, and that's why I upgraded the exhaust system with the shop vac. Now, when I did that, there wasn't enough air getting into the tank, so the gloves would blow up like balloons, and so what I did was I enlarged the hole on the side, and used a toilet flange with a 90-degree 3-inch, and then I put screen over the top with a hose clamp. So now I get enough airflow going in that it takes anything out while you're vapor blasting very quickly. And like I said, the vacuum with the Cyclone makes sure that no contaminants get into the vacuum. So that's what I did there. Now also I've changed the filter box setup on the bottom. The filter box setup I had worked very well, and I got that idea from a diagram from one of the commercial companies, and that's what they make. They make theirs out of stainless steel. Mine was out of that plastic bin. The problem was with all those compartments, cleaning it was a pain, getting the media out of it was a pain, because you're always going to lose media to your filter box. Because like I said, that the mixture is like chocolate milk. And if you leave chocolate milk in a glass for a couple hours, you'll see the chocolate finally settling at the bottom. Same thing. If you bring the media and the slurry mix into the filter box right away, or leave that valve open continuously, and you want, you know, an open loop system where you're filtering, so you have your rinse water, you're going to lose media into that box. So I decided to go with a different design. This is a design that more commercial companies also use. It's very easy to make. It's just as easy as the other one to make. Cost ends up being about the same. As far as if it works better, so far it seems to work about the same. But this will be much easier to clean because you've got two bins. I bought all this stuff on Zorro for this. Zorro and Amazon. The bottom bin, and I did this so that it would still fit underneath, because I could have gone with a bigger 3-bin setup, but I still wanted it to fit under the cabinet. So the bottom bin, I put a brass hose fitting on it with a hose valve. Same thing on the upper one. Now again, the main drain on this cabinet, on newer models, I will put on to the opposite side so that it won't interfere, and I can slide the box further under the filter box. So all the filter box is on the top box you have a bulkhead fitting, basically just like you're using on the tank for the drain line. This black piece here is your bulkhead fitting. I used like a 1 1/4 or a 1 1/2, and all you do is, like over in one end of the box, in fact you can kind of see it over here, you drill a hole through the top one, put your bulkhead fitting in, and then you just use a piece of PVC and you go maybe 1 1/2 inches from the top of this. Now I also put screening over the top just as another filter to see how that's going to work out. I used a 120 mesh stainless steel screen. And then you've got your hose going in just like I did before, down to about 1 inch off the bottom. So what happens is your slurry mix goes in, and then since it's depositing it at the bottom of the box, most of your media will stay at the bottom as it comes in. Now as the water rises, it'll make its way over to the top of the PVC pipe, and then once it gets to the top of the PVC pipe, it'll go over the edge of the pipe and drain water. You'll still get a small amount of media into the bottom box, but the majority will stay in this top. So once the water goes through the pipe, it comes down in the second box, and I'm still using these mats I got from Amazon, these oil absorption mats, like when they have an oil spill, because they do collect a lot of the stuff that sits on the top. And the goal is to have as clean water as you can coming out and going up to your pump for your rinse spray. So again, I'd move this over to the left side. I'm still going to change this around. This was just with parts I had while I was doing the filter box. When it's time to clean it, this one valve down here, you just open it, you drain it. That'll drain all the water down to about 1 inch to make it light enough. And then the upper one, I have this one set about halfway up height-wise, because you're going to have a lot of media that collects in here. So I wanted it to drain the water above the media, but not the media. So I went about halfway up with the valve on this one. And again, you'll drain the water out. Once you do, you can lift this little one off pretty easy, and then you can just put it right up top inside the wet blast cabinet, and dump your media back in, clean it out, put fresh water in it, and continue on. So those are the changes that I've made to the Venom Blaster cabinet. And I will be coming out with a new version of the cabinet that's less expensive with all these improvements in it. And this next time, I will do a complete parts list and where to get the parts and how much they cost. I just didn't feel, because I did a lot of overkill on this one, I didn't feel that I should spend hours and hours and hours making a list and then give it to you when I find out that, geez, I really went overkill on the hoses inside. I really went overkill on some of the fittings, and I wanted to do it as cost effective as I could for you. So for any of you that went ahead and built it and you can do some of these mods to it, it makes a night and day difference. I thank everybody for subscribing, and I'll try and get these videos out a little quicker. And have a great day.